Go through here, and it shows you all about remembering the kanji. I need to get an invisibility potion. Potion. What does it look like? Shunbin じゃなくて、再生じゃなくて、対価。あざます。取れた。Mookie Baby doesn't go invisible. He's impervious to the powers of the Tourmaker potion. So yeah, Pog.
Yeah, I'm actually warping to your location, but my game is still loading. I don't know why.
Bizarro. Right, so let's have a look at this. Welcome to the Heisig Hall. Here you will learn about James Heisig's method of studying kanji. Heisig's method uses mnemonics to remember the meaning and how to write all of the Joyo kanji. Mnemonics is a system of breaking down complex things into smaller, memorable pieces. Let's have a look at an example. Follow moi. Continue to the back, please. Okay, so the Heisig system. So first we're going to introduce it, then we're going to look at a free sample book, then we're going to look at the website that I use to study it, then you're going to do it in 6 months, and you're going to be like, wow, I know all the Joyo kanji now. Thanks, cheap. So this kanji here, I don't know what's easiest to see. Maybe look at my live on Discord, or just follow in game. I don't know. So it says here, yeah, this is the kanji for old. Now, the Heisig system, it breaks down learning kanji into, first of all, learning the meaning of the kanji, and then learning the readings. So it's a super convenient and what's the word? It's basically divide and conquer. It's like, okay, you're going to learn all the meanings first, then you're going to learn the readings. And there's some systems like Wanikani that try and do both at the same time, but I think that just confuses people. So I don't know. You're free to do it how you want, but in my opinion, this is the way to go. So that's why I'm introducing it today. Of course, if you do have some opinions, please let me know, because of course I studied kanji over 10 years ago, so there's maybe better systems even now. Now,
actually,
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, not at all.
I took Chinese in high school.
Uh-huh.
And when I explored this, like, the Minecraft server, I found this building somehow. I don't know. And honestly, it kind of confused me, like,
interesting,
how you're supposed to memorize all the pictograms without even putting, like, a name to them.
Oh, you do put a name to them, though. That's the point.
Like, it was, like, what do you mean, like the meanings?
The meanings. What do you mean by names,
like,
then?
I mean, like, the pronunciation.
Oh, you just remember the meaning.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's kind of hard for stuff like these characters, where it's like, I don't know, like, when would I even use this?
Which one?
Like, happenstance.
You use it in Jiko?
No, I mean, like, when would you, like, I don't know, it feels like there's no, like, context. Like, I feel like I need a sentence or something.
Right.
But there's nothing, because we don't even know how to say it.
That's right. So that's a good point. What I would say in defense of the Heisig system, not that I wrote it, it's not the York system or anything, but what it gives you is at least a knowledge of everything that's written on a page. You can look at a page of kanji in, like, a newspaper and be like, oh, I've seen that before. I know what that means. I know what that means. I know what that means. And then you can start figuring out what the readings are. So you have this kind of base, like a foundation, to then learn the readings on top. I think what you can do is if you try to learn everything at once, like, this is the kanji, this is what it means, this is how you read it, kunyomi, this is the onyomi, this is how you use it in a verb. If you're trying to learn all of that at once, I think that can actually get a bit overpowering. So the divide and conquer method is what the Heisig system is, I think, here.
I actually have one more thing to say to that. So maybe it's because I first learned Chinese.
Yeah.
But sometimes I forget the simplest things, like how, like, I see the word cycle, you know, but I could not remember how to say it in Japanese, even though I've heard the word before. Because like when I look at the characters, I think of Chinese.
Right. Okay. Maybe
But
that's.
sometimes you can only think of like the meaning or or of the Chinese pronunciation, and I feel like I don't know, having the pronunciation in Japanese or like learning stuff from anime or something, and then kanji to that can also be helpful. I feel like
I
sometimes I
guess
get
so.
frustrated because I don't know how things are pronounced.
I think that argument is based on the knowledge of Chinese first, though. If you don't even know
Yeah.
Chinese, then... So, the thing about RTK, let's put this straight. The thing about RTK is that it is something that... Oh, by the way, could you watch the stream so that I get... just so that I get more I don't know, Twitch perks or
Yeah, I
whatever it
joined
is.
to tell you I'm gonna join and watch you. So you're
I
welcome.
feel so like weird, like I'm trying to shill something. I'm not trying to sell anything, but I don't know, it might help get eyes on. Why does that not become a link? Come on, Discord, sort it out. HTTPS. There we go. I think RTK it's super useful for someone that hasn't learned any Japanese yet, right?
Yeah.
If you have been studying for 3 or 4 years and you start to do RTK, you're not losing anything by starting RTK after 3 or 4 years, but it is better to do it when you're fresh into the language. Because 3 or 4 years into your study, you're like, well, I already know a bunch of kanji, and the readings. Why am I having to learn all these, just like the meaning of these words all again? So it can be a little bit frustrating, I guess, if you've already got a base knowledge. Which is why I think I wrote a document in Discord here about how I studied Japanese, and RTK is something you should do at the ground level. If your end goal is proficiency, start with this early, because then you won't regret those 6 months that you've invested going forwards. So, but regardless, I think it's still a decent system, especially for people that are struggling with kanji, because, I mean, for I don't know about the rest of us, but born in the UK, I mean, I was only ever seeing script written in the alphabet until I was, when I started studying Japanese when I was 21. So just having all these kanji on the page was very overpowering, and I had no idea what was going on. I started RTK. I could look at a page and go, okay, I know the meaning of all of those. Now I need to figure out the readings. And actually, the readings become simpler when you know the kanji, because you have an idea of the parts of the kanji. Like, okay, that part means that it's read like this. Like, you can see... Let's have a look.
Yeah.
If I write... what's a good one? This, for example. Core. There. You'll see parts of a kanji that... Oh, that's another good one, yeah. It's not working in Minecraft. I'll write it in Discord. So once you know the meanings and you see the same parts in the kanji, then core, for example, the kanji for high school, the kanji for koban, like these two kanji, they have the same part, the same radicals, I think they're called. But if you recognize these, then you're like, okay, that because it has this inside it, it's probably read as core.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's just the readings become easier once you know them all, in my opinion. So, just to stick with this, if that's okay. So here you can. This is how it works essentially. A mnemonic. You make a mnemonic to break down the kanji into its constituent parts.
I have a question.
Sure.
For example, in this example where you use the kanji for mouth, wouldn't it be confusing? Like, is it to confuse this kanji of mouth with the katakana of ro? Like, how is there a way to make them easier to differentiate them?
That kuchi and do. I mean, yeah, they do look super similar, but I don't have an answer to that. You're just gonna have to. I mean, it's not very often that you're gonna see kuchi and do used. I mean, for example, look, if you got a sentence like kuchi ni ideru, You know that that's not going to be dot needed, right? You'd never see dot by itself as a word. It doesn't exist as a word. So contextually, you just... I mean, chikara as well. Chikara looks like ka, right? Katakana ka. Yeah, context and common sense, please. Yeah. And then what we're saying about this mouth and here, though, it's a part of furui. Furui. So you're not going to confuse that with a ro because it's underneath the ten, right? Anyway, moving on. So the mnemonic here that we have underneath the kanji, it says you get old fast when you have 10 mouths to feed. So you basically make a story that contains all of the words here. You've got the actual kanji, which is old. You've got 10, the meaning of the kanji, sorry, which is old. And you've got the constituent parts, which is 10 and mouth. So that's a simple example. We can now use dot in other more complex kanji. So we know that this kanji unto itself means old. We can then use that as part of another kanji here. Look, so this means wither, and you can see that it's tree plus old, which we've already learned as 10 mouths, but now we're just using it as old. So the mnemonic below says a tree withers away as it gets old. Hang on a sec, I'll be right back. What are you doing? What to do. So a tree withers away as it gets old. Then happenstance. So we've got the old taskmaster. I recently met my old taskmaster by happenstance. So again, just using the two words, we can make compounds. Again, another one that has furui in it. This is harden. Fossils are old things. Fossils are old things pent in that have hardened. So again, it's just a way to make a mnemonic with all the words in. And by the way, this kanji furui, its onyomi is ko. Just ko. So you can see in this kanji contains old. It's read as ko. The happenstance we just had, that's also read as ko. And but that one isn't the koka. That one's not read as ko, unfortunately. So the idea here is that once you know the kanji, once you know the compounds, if you see that compound in other kanji, then you can perhaps guess the reading. Okay, so yeah, it's building a system of like Lego blocks and parts where they get embedded in other kanji. So you can see that this harden kanji is then being used over here in the final, where this green block is. You can see in the final instantiation you have person and harden. So Mr. T, which we're going to use as our person here, is a hardened individual, where you've got individual as the kanji, and then the two parts, person and harden. So this is the general way that the system works. You take a small part, you create a keyword for it, it gets embedded in other kanji, and then you make stories up as you go along. There's some more stuff upstairs. I didn't realize. Ah, right. Okay. So here's just some kanji in the stories upstairs. I think these are from the start of the book, which we're going to have a look at shortly. Has anybody actually tried RTK?
I tried it for a bit, but I didn't do too much of it.
Can I ask how you did it? Did you just
Yes,
read the book? Or...
Yeah, I just read them and I wrote them down also, so with the stroke order. So
Did you use an SRS at all, like Anki or something that I'm going to be introducing in a minute, to keep on top of your knowledge? How did you manage your knowledge, essentially?
I just I just remember where I left off, but I didn't write in Anki or anything, so I just
Gotcha.
remember where I left off.
Gotcha.
Say I bought the books and then kind of cheated.
How did you cheat?
I went to Anki and found a deck that was already pretty much done and downloaded it and started from there.
Okay. And did you finish the RTK one?
I did not. I'll admit I kind of started Wani Kani at the same time.
Okay. And did
And
you
that
finish one?
I got to level 3
Oh.
before.
Of how many
well,
levels on Wanikani?
There's a lot, like 100 and some. But you have to buy it at level 3, which is one downside. And the reason why I liked Wani Kani is only because I could sneakily get it in at work. Where having a book out at work kind of flags as you're not doing work.
Okay. I see. Right. I'm just going to leave Minecraft for a sec and have a look at my screen in Discord now. I will introduce the book. River says you've started it. I guess we'll chat in Nihongo Lounge now. Did you start it, River? Did you start it based on my suggestion? Like in the way that I suggested? Because that's what I'm going to be introducing today.
You do remembering the Kana first, don't you? The black book?
Well, I mean, if you don't know the kana, yeah, but I just used a poster to remember the kana.
Yeah, I know my Kana. My Katakana's not the best, but Hiragana's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
'Cause
that is bedrock level. If you don't have that, then you're going to... Yeah.
I'm just looking through the books because they're under my router.
You can probably find a scanned book online as well. I mean,
Well,
I found this.
Yeah, you can definitely find it online.
I just put remembering the kanji sample, and there's a good sample here, which I think we'll use this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I have all 3 books: Kana and Kanji 1 and Kanji 2.
Oof, I didn't get book 2.
I mean, I think it's like $5 when I bought it.
Oh,
so
that's not bad. Yeah.
I was like, well, might as well at this point.
Okay, so right, River, I'm going to be introducing the system that I recommend here. So what I'm looking at right now is the RTK 6th edition sample lesson 1. I mean, there's the preface to the book which tells you why he went about this way of doing it and stuff. I mean, honestly, the guy's a genius for coming up with this system. It's so good. So lesson 1, what we're going to do here is you'll see that the lesson and the kanji, and at the start of the book, he has created a story and a way to remember each of these kanji. There's also put here, look, a special mark. He's put a star next to, although it is not necessarily a special primitive meaning of these kanji as a special remark preceded by a star. So essentially, we are learning the meaning of the kanji, and then we're learning. He's adding a primitive meaning. So meaning that when you see this as part of a kanji later on, it has a special meaning. So, and they got a star next to them. So I mean, 1 is obvious. It's pretty easy. In Chinese characters, number 1 is laid on its side. As you would expect, it is written from left to right. Shup, and then that's how you write it. Shup. As a primitive meaning, the keyword meaning is discarded since it's too abstract. So what he's saying here is that, yeah, it means one, but when you see this as part of another kanji, consider it a floor or a ceiling. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually following along in my book, so.
Okay. So we know that this means one, but when we see it as part of another kanji, consider it floor or meaning or ceiling, depending on where it is. 2, very simple. It's just 2 strokes. The top one's shorter. 3, 1, 2, 3. 4. This kanji is composed of 2 primitive elements: mouth, which is the box, and human legs, which is opposed to animal legs, which is what another primitive that we'll see later. So these legs that have like one kicks out to the left and the other one's got like a hook on it to the right. These legs are called are considered the human legs as opposed to the animal legs, which we'll see later. So now we've learnt 1, 2, 3, 4, but by learning 4, we've also learnt 2 primitives: mouth and human legs. 5. As with 4, we shall postpone learning the primitive elements that make up this character. Note how the general principle we just learned, blah, 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 blah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he's also talking about the actual writing, the way that you write. You go from top to bottom, left to right. So left to right, then down, left to right, left to right. Number 6, we have 2 primitives here. Top hat, which is this piece at the top, and animal legs. You can notice the difference between these legs and the human legs. These are not hooked. This right one is not hooked. That's the animal legs. But he says we're gliding over them here. 7. Note that the first stroke cuts through the second. This distinguishes 7 from the character for spoon, which we'll learn later. Spoon does not cut through. 7 as a primitive. It says as a primitive, this form takes on the meaning of diced, as in to cut into little pieces. Which is associated with the kanji cut. You can see here that the actual kanji for cut contains 7 on the left, with the katana on the right. So we go through the book, we learn the meanings, we learn the primitive meaning, and it goes on like this: mouth, day. Here we have a first kind of mnemonic. Actually, it says this kanji is intended to be a pictograph of the sun. Recalling what was said in the previous frame about round forms, diseases, blah, 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 blah. It says something about a tongue, I think, here. Diseases, and the big smile that characterizes our simplest drawing of the sun. I guess he's using this line in the middle as like a smiling mouth. Have a nice day. Sha. This character is actually a picture of the moon, with the 2 horizontal lines representing the left eye and mouth of the mythical man in the moon. It's also used for month, which is 1 cycle of the moon. This is the primitive. This moon as a primitive, he uses it as flesh or part of the body, actually, which he gets to. There's a reason that it's called that he uses this primitive as part of the body, which comes in later into the book. Essentially, a lot of the kanji for parts of the body have this on the left hand side, like no, for example. That kanji that has the moon on the left. What else have we got? Jinzo, like zo. This means like your internal organs. That has the moon on the left as well. So it's like if you see the moon on the left, remember that it's part of the body. So that's why he uses part of the body as the primitive meaning here. All right, so you can see that it goes on like this, and we've already finished lesson 1. The final one that we've got here is I, which is a box with 2 lines in the middle. It's also turned on its side sometimes, like that in kanji. So let's say we finished lesson 1. Now we want to practice these. Now this is the important part. I recommend this website. It's Kanji Kuhi. You can also do it on mobile, but I don't think there's an app for it. It's just like browser. I fully recommend this website because it's a spaced repetition system, which means that you only review the ones that you have forgotten or don't know very well. So the ones that you know well, it pushes into the future. You don't have to worry about them. So that's a good thing. the most important, brilliant part of this website that really, really helps you learn the kanji in a quick way is the fact that the mnemonics are crowdsourced. All of each. Oh well, I'll log in and show you. If I sign in, I haven't used this in years, so all of my cards are going to be like up for review. But I wonder what my password is. Definitely not that. Not that either. Not that either. Bear with me a moment. I'm going to have to ask for a password reset. I'm going to move this over here so you can't see it. Forgot your password. But yeah, while I'm doing this, I recommend you register for this site if you plan on doing RTK, which you should, because it's brilliant. Huh. A new password has been sent to the email address. Okay. New email should arrive shortly.
Ooh, look at that taskbar.
Which taskbar? My taskbar? Oh, this thing.
No, you're down the lower right. You have like every icon down there.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
Okay.
I like to have it color coded. I'll tell you what, maybe I just make a new account for this kanji.kuhi. I would like to log in, but
I wonder if I saved my login.
I just logged in. Like, it looks like I barely used it though.
Yeah, I barely started mine a few years ago.
well, I think I used it like 2008 and maybe before, and at that time it didn't have these kind of crowdsourced
Wow.
mnemonics. And then I logged in a few years later, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so much easier!" Because like I can't think of because what happens in the book is that after a certain point, Heisig stops giving example stories for you to use, and it's like, right, now you're on your own. Here's just a list of kanji, make your own stories, and you're like, that's hard. But then this site, you can just go through one by one and go, there's the story, cool. That's the best story as well because. Obviously, it's kind of a democracy where you can upvote the good stories. So you have.
Also, I think. I mean, I'm assuming it'd be kind of better than Wanikani because I remember having problems with just the mnemonics or like the example sentences on Wanikani were just like absurd, like a real stretch, especially with the radicals. They also called the radicals weird names that I didn't like.
Right, I'll just create an account. Boom. Done. Okay. So I just created an account instead. I saved the password there. Yep. Go. All right. Cool. We're in. So,
Skip kanji?
can you what, sorry?
Can you skip a kanji?
You cannot on this
Mhm.
site. No, you cannot.
Oh,
But you just say
oh,
that you remember it,
oh,
and then it gets skipped to the next week or month or whatever. Now, what you're going to need when you do this website is a piece of paper and a pen, because it actually has you write them. So that's why I have books full of random kanji drawings. And when I was working at elementary school in Japan, I was the crazy foreigner sitting at his desk writing kanji that nobody ever uses or knows. Because yeah, the Heisig system has you learn kanji in a very, very different order to elementary school students. Elementary school students do not have an L1 to rely on. An L1 means a mother tongue. So they are learning kanji without any knowledge of the world, essentially, which means they learn them based on the importance of their life at that time, right? Whereas we, who already have contextual knowledge of the world, hopefully, and we know what the word for a laptop computer is, a coin, the sun, a star. You know, Shogakuse, they don't have any concept of that. They don't know what a bush is. They don't know what a fence is. They don't know what radical means. So we learn it as an L1 speaker of English or whatever, in a way that is very different to the elementary school students. We learn it based on easy remembering order of the kanji rather than their importance in our life. So anyway, I'm logged into this system here, and I think, let me see here, if I press progress chart, I can, there we go, I have to add the kanji that I've just studied. So add flashcards, and what we need to do is we need to refer to the book, actually. So I think we can, let me have a look. There we go, remembering the kanji. So enter a frame number. So we just did up to frame number 15. There you go. You can see that frame number 15 is the last one of this chapter. So a frame number 15. On all cards up to that number will be added. Add cards. Cool. So these are the kanji that we have just studied. Add them to our deck. All right. So now we have a deck.
Oh.
So the next time we add kanji, we'll put lesson 2 in. But at the moment, we've only got lesson 1. Okay?
Can you delete flashcards?
Can you delete flashcards? I don't think you can. No, you have to add them all in order. So what I'm going to do next is study. I'm going to go to study here. Start with kanji number 1. Audit? No, that's not study. I need to review them. I've already studied them. Well, I guess we'll look at the study tab for a start then. Go back to here. Study kanji. Start with kanji number 1. What we can do here is we can look at other people's stories, and we can add a star if we like it. Like, oh, that's a cool story. I'm going to keep that as my own. Next. This is frame number 2. I have 2 knees. Because the knee, the reading. Nice, good lad. Give that a star. On to number 3. Tanaka-san took 3 points off my test. Okay, whatever. 3 strokes. Sans extras. They're all got these oyaji gag puns going on here. You can also add your own story. Just 3 lines in it. And it automatically highlights the meaning of the kanji here. But the real beauty of this website is the review section. So we're going to review here, and it says, look, I've just had 15 cards. They're all new. Let's review them. So it gives you the keyword here, 10. I have to write it. So, okay, I just wrote it on whatever. Flip it, and how well did you get it right? Easy. Rice field. Does anyone know the kanji for rice field?
It's 4 squares.
Yeah, it's 4 squares. The stroke order, obviously down from the left, across and down at the top, across in the middle. I wonder if I can. Let me get a drawing tab. Drawing. That'll do. Scribbly. Yeah. Chan got it. Play. It's an interesting use of Scribbly. There we go. 1. Oh, I can't draw. It won't let me draw. Hey, someone joined. How did you join? That's weird. Screw this. It's not working. How did you find this? I don't get it. Who's drawing? Who's Mishu? Who are these people? What the heck? It just... Okay. Okay, thanks, River. Whoa, that'll work. Yeah. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the kanji. So that's ta. So you'd write that. You'd go back to here. You go flip. We're here. I got it right. Easy. So let's just get one wrong. So month. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flip. Yeah, easy. 3. 1, 2, 3. Flip card. Yep, easy. 2, 1, 2. Yep, easy. 8. Oh, I forgot 8. Is it like this? Okay, so let's say I got that one. That one's a bit hard. I'm going to click hard. Mouth. Yeah, got that. 7. Got that. 9. Got that. 5. A little bit hard. 4. Easy. Eye. Hard. Day. Easy. 6. Let's say I didn't get that one. So we finished, and it will show you your results. You passed it, you failed it, which box has it been moved into in terms of the space repetition system. So you can see that tomorrow I've got 14, but today I've got to do one more because I got it wrong. So tomorrow 3 coming up in 2 days. So you can see what your schedule is for studying the kanji over the next few days. And that's it. I mean, you just have to keep looking at you look at the book, you learn the kanji. Let's say you get to chapter 9 or something, and you don't have any stories anymore. This sample takes you up to lesson, where are we here? Well, look, 250, 200 and lesson 12. And already we're learning some pretty intense kanji right here, lesson 12 of, 30, 40. Got that one, pig iron. Hardcore. Bachi, that's a tricky one. A bowl. A door, which means copper. So you can see that they've grouped this whole bunch of kanji together in terms of having the money on the left hand side. The money or the gold. Tsuri, hari, me, inscription, that's cool. Tranquilize, good. Shinzai, nice. But you get to a point where, there's no more stories. What do I do? Then you come to this site. So you go study. You choose the frame, or you can put in the kanji. So let's, for example, put in the pig iron kanji. And you go, okay. Here's the story. Favorites, new and updated stories. This one's got 700 upvotes. Iron is a metal that gradually becomes lost due to oxidization. So you can see that you've got metal and lost as the 2 primitives here. So that is a solid story. I'm going to add my own like to that one. Go to the next one. To send. Okay, or could it alternate? Okay. Nice way to express that someone gets transferred. You lost your way, blah, 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 blah. What's this one? When you get lost, you just take an alternate road to get back on track. So the 2 primitives here are lost and road, which is why this story is good. Lost, road, meaning alternate. Cool. So yeah, that's how you go through it on this site. You study them, you add them to your list, and then you review them. And I'm guessing in 6 months' time, once you've put all of the where was that progress chart? Here we go. Don't do RTK Volume 3. No point. There's absolutely no point in learning 800 extra kanji. I mean, some of the later ones you don't even need. But yeah, once you've got all these in, review them. You'll start picking them up in texts that you're reading. For example, if you read a lot of manga or whatever, then you'll see. What is that? Okay, whatever. And then you'll start learning the readings. The readings, I use something called the Kanji Town method, which is pretty good. Kanji Town, Adventures in Kanji Town. This is the method that I used to learn the readings. Essentially, what you do is you do something called the Loci Memory Palace. Loci Memory Palace. So you create a location. Method of loci. Okay. Or Loki? Loci. You create a location. Let's say your university. and you give that location a reading, let's say core, and you put all of the kanji that have that same reading attached to things in that location based on the keywords. It sounds a bit convoluted, but if you read through this, oh look at that, 2005. That's when I came to Japan. So if you read through this, you'll learn that okay, that's how I do kanji readings. I think I've still got my book here somewhere, unless it's in the loft now. But yeah, is that it? Yeah, here we go. If you look at the stream, I'll show you how it works. I just want webcam. Nope. That might work. Let's get a simple drawing. Well, that one's a bit of a pain in the bottom, so let's skip that. Yeah, some of these are hardcore. Well, for example, these are the kanji readings for K. They're all read as K. So I'm making stories and links between them in a location and highlighting in red the kanji that have the same primitive. So that look, they all have the same primitive. That's how they're read. So I mean, this is my Kanji Town book which I used. Here's a simpler one. Just gaku. Gaku has 4 kanji. So you create a place where you put those 4 kanji and you make a little story to link them all together. So it's just another way to remember kanji readings. You know, it's a task. It takes a while to do, but inevitably you will learn them and you will smash them. So that's how I did the readings. Any questions? Anything else I can introduce? I mean, I can introduce my Anki deck, how to create Anki decks, but I think most of the details are on the document that I created. Have I scared everybody off? Everyone's like, what? Kanji? I've got to actually study? Yeah. If you want to get good. Oh look, I even had photos in my my document here. God. Totally on top of it. Oh yeah, there's a blog post here that I did back in, I don't know, a long time ago, about how to create Anki cards. I mean, I can show you my Anki deck if you want. I haven't really looked at it recently, but it still exists. So this is my Anki deck. The statistics are probably insane because I haven't looked at it recently. Browse, Japanese proper. Okay, so the first card that I created in this deck was 2007. Were any of you born? The first card that I created for this deck was the idiom "pearls before swine." Wow, so important. Not 1 or 2 or 3, but pearls before swine. So let me show you some cards that I have in here. We'll do some now. So this is, make it a bit smaller. This one is to remember the meaning of this word, motatsuku, which means to be like a bit stunted, a little bit hesitant, a little bit slow. Basically, you can see here. This is when I was just using pure Japanese to learn. Obviously, learning the L2 in the L2 is one of the most effective ways to do it. So, yeah, we've got monogoto no shinko ga hokadoranai. So this means doesn't doesn't proceed. So things don't proceed very well. So yeah. Let's see what the other side of it is. So the other side of it is actually a sentence, like how it's used in a sentence. And that's what this blog post is all about. It's saying that, you know, just learning the one-for-one translation of telephone to means denwa in Japanese. It's really like limiting. You're like, okay, so I know that denwa means telephone, but how do I use that in a sentence? Like, do I say, I don't know, table no uwe ni denwa ga aru. Okay, cool. There's a telephone on the table, but how can I say I want to call somebody? Do I use denwa? So if you make a card that has denwa as part of a sentence, you learn the context and how to use it as part of a sentence. So that's why we're seeing here. This is a word that I wanted to remember. I've got the meaning on the front, but then its actual usage on the back. Kippu o kau no ni zuibun mo tatsuita. So I took a long time to buy a ticket. Okay, good, no problem. Hatsuganse no aru. So this is just a word. Hatsuganse. I've marked the bit that I want to remember. Hatsugan means it's carcinogenic, basically. And then the meaning on the back. So this is just another way to express. This is just another different card. Like I've got the actual the sentence on the front and the meaning on the back. What is this? This is a word that I want to remember, the meaning and some example sentences, and then I guess on the back will be the English. This is insho, by the way. So it's hito no kokoro ni taishō ga utaeru chokkan-teki na kanji. So here we have daiichi insho. Kare no insho wa yokatta. Sono hon wa ayamatta nihon no insho o taiteiru. So you've got a bunch of sentences and where that word fits in. On the back is just the word, yeah, insho. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can make cards. Let's see if we can get one that's got English. There we go. So here we have some English as well. The word, how it fits into a sentence. What's this? The word in a sentence. Then on the back is the meaning. So you've got active recall and passive recall. Sometimes you have the word presented to you and you want to know what it means. Other times you have like a close, like that one we had, the insho. Here you go, for example. This is an example of a close. I've got the word actually goes into the sentence here, but I don't know how to use it. But I don't know what it is. I've got the meaning, where it fits into the sentence. On the back will be the actual word itself. And I go into that on this blog post here, which is about effective flashcard creation. This one is actually of no relevance to me anymore. It's about mahjong. I don't even know what this means anymore. What was it even called? Nanke or something? No. I don't even know. Nanchaka. So if you don't need a card anymore, delete the thing. Okay? Delete note. Delete it. I don't want that card anymore because I don't play mahjong. I'm never going to use that again. You should have your Anki deck relevant to your interests and you know what you're doing at the time. So this is Minashigo, I think, or Hishak. I didn't remember that one, so I'm going to do that one again. Kakusu kana? Yeah, kakusu. Okay, cool. So I got the word based on the sentences that I saw here. Kasha, that's a freight train. Kasha no naka ni eikei to ryuku ga tsurushiteiru. Yeah, kasha, it's a train, a freight train. Cool, no problem. This is a grammar for the JLP2. Oh, that's a good idea. What this Crassus has just said. Wanikani Electric Boogaloo is an Anki plugin that turns the interface into Wanikani, including having to enter words via typing instead of only choosing good or bad. Okay, so that's an active recall method then, where you want to get the person to actively output the word before they go on to the next card. So what I was going to say here that is important is that you can actually throw in. This was very, very important for doing the JLPT for me. I had a book with all of the grammar points. In fact, I've still got it. Whether this was N2 or N1, I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know where my other book is. Let's just say it was this one. So this is... Hang on. This is the book that I used to pass the N3. I mean, it must have been 2006 or something, but this is all the grammar points for the N3. And you can see that each of the grammar points in this book had a number and how it's used. Now, what I did is to practice my knowledge of each grammar point, I would put it into the system. So here, you can see the system is see the grammar point, and then I would make a sentence and send it to a friend or my girlfriend at the time. So I'd make a sentence using it and then check the meaning. And all of this is actually from this book. You've got the meaning, how it connects to things, example sentences. So, you know, I would spend 3 or 4 hours a day making these cards and reviewing the kanji with Anki like this. You know, proficiency, it's not about intelligence, it's about effort. It really is. I'm not smart. I just studied super hard back in the day. So you got to, if you want to set a goal, and I think the JLPT is a fantastic goal for learners. I mean, like, okay, I'm going to pass the JLPT N3 this year. If that's your goal, go about it. Do a spaced repetition system, and just smash it out. That's all it is. That is all it is. And that is the end of Cheap Shot's lecture on studying harder. Seriously, I'm gonna end there and open up to any questions. So what we've covered today is RTK, what it is, how it works, why you should do it, how you should do it, by using remembering the kanji website, reviewing the kanji. I've looked at Anki, and we briefly looked at how to make different cards and how they should be relevant to you and not from a deck that you just downloaded. And you can put grammar in. All right, gracias.
I just wanted to make a joke about studying harder and not smarter.
Go on, go on.
It's fine.
Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Go for it, gracias. I don't know how to study smart. That's why I have to do it hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, if there are more efficient ways nowadays, please, share the information.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to hear.
No, it's. I think Anki is still one of the most efficient ways you can study, but I would prefer something that first of all allows you to have some kind of active recall, and second that allows you to like, for example, if you're learning kanji, I think it would help if you had some way of confirming that your mental image you have of a kanji in your head is correct. So, there are some applications that allow you to, for example, check. So basically, they allow you to input kanji via stroke order. So, for example, you get told a kanji and to write a particular kanji and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not necessarily better than Anki cards or whatever, but I think it's at least useful to write kanji a few times, even if your focus isn't being able to reproduce them accurately every time. It's just helpful to write them a few times, because you will basically build a clearer mental image. Like, for example, when I used Wanikani for quite a while, the issue I had with it was that well, Wanikani is mostly active recall. It is not active recall of the image of behind the kanji. So you don't have a clear mental image of the kanji. You're basically only building a clear memory of what its reading is. And if you look at two very similar kanji, you end up, well, basically you end up being confused, because you trigger you still trigger the association with the other kanji.
Well,
basically.
But that's where the importance of mnemonics come in, because if the story doesn't contain those things that you know, if they look similar, well, that was a big burp.
Yeah, but you're supposed to move beyond the mnemonic when we recall.
Yeah,
them eventually. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, back in the day, me and a group of guys from the Kanji Kuhi website, we tried to make a complete, Japanese only version of RTK, but as happens, these projects fall by the wayside. But yeah, totally. I mean, I can't remember the English meaning for kanji anymore. I just know them because I see them in vocabulary, and they're a part of my Japanese knowledge basically now. But at the start, I think that having the English meaning as something to work from it's pretty efficient. River asked a question about. So River, you're asking an old man here. I didn't have a pen tab or a computer.
Yeah, I have a pen tablet. So like I have an Android tablet where I can just directly write on the screen and stuff. I think you will save time because there's dedicated apps to practice in kanji, like Kanji Study or whatever.
Interesting.
So
I think as long as you're moving your hand and you're actually drawing it,
yeah.
it shouldn't make a difference.
My friend
your voice cut out just now.
I say as long as you're actually moving your hand to write it, then I don't think it makes a difference whether it's a physical paper or a tablet.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly though, can I just say, I thought by going through remembering the kanji, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic system. It's like, this is actually really interesting. Oh, this is fun. Oh, remembering all these different kanji and being actually able to write these mofos, like that was super empowering and fun, I thought at the time. And I can't see why you wouldn't want to do it. It's fun, honestly. He's like, wow, I can look at a page of like pure kanji now and go, wow, I kind of understand what all of these mean. I know that dude means this dude means that, this dude means something else. And okay, cool.
So it's basically a fun foundation.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, if you take one thing away about flashcard creation, never just have one word to one word. Always have an example sentence where it's embedded, so you learn how it's used contextually. Is there a point in this system where you start being able to infer a kanji's meaning having never seen it specifically before? No, not in this system.
Well, I think there are some kanji that use similar radicals that kind of
yeah,
like, are sort of part of an overarching category, I guess. So you know that this probably has something to do with vision because there's the kanji for eye in it.
Exactly, like I just mentioned the one where you've got Niku, or sorry, not Niku, the moon at the side. You're like, well, this is probably a body part then. And let's have a look. Kanashi じゃなくて、ちょっと待って。忙しいとか、選む。違う、選むじゃない。あれ What's it called? Well, anyway, you see the same radicals that come up. So yeah, kanashi, sami. No, that's not one. I'm trying to think of some examples now on the spot. There's just one I just got on the top of my head. So these two kanji, they're both feelings essentially. I guess. Well, one's isogashi, to have a feeling of being rushed, to be busy, and the second one means kowai, which means to be scared. So you have the same kind of kokoro, I think it is, on the side there. So that's involved with feelings. So you can infer, but yeah. Also, a lot of the plants have similar kanji at the top as well. That's always a nice one to remember. Ki Hayashi Mori. In fact, there's a video that me and my friend made on YouTube. I think I shared it recently. And it's the only video I have on YouTube. It's not on my channel, but it's like over 1 million views. It's like, what? Here it is. But unfortunately, to a new student of Japanese, kanji can seem like an unassailable wall. this video. It's like a million views. I can't believe it. My friends at Kaiwa School, we just made this random remembering the kanji video, and it's got like 1 million views. Man, I should have kept on that. I think you made like $900 from this one video. It's crazy. When I get final, should I be able to also study kanji in a different light method? No. Once there's no getting far enough with this method, in my opinion. And with this method, you just drill through it, get all the meanings down, and at the same time, like read books. You know, just see kanji in the wild, and learn the meanings, learn the readings that way, and then learn the readings more systematically with the Kanji Town method or RTK2, which I didn't actually do, so I can't say anything about that. Yeah, it's all gradual. It's just if you got a good, I don't know what's the word. If you're a visual learner and creating little stories and images in your mind for each kanji, it works pretty well. But yeah, you got to keep on top of the reviews because there's like 1,000 or so to remember. All right, so it wasn't much of a Japanese speaking lesson or anything, just more of a, hey, this is how I think you should study kanji. So we will presume with our normal schedule next Wednesday. Right, I'm going to end the stream.